everybody. I just wanted to make a brief video for you so you have very handy all the instructions that you need to begin your relationship graph. Thank you so much for being on this journey. If you're going to work on someone who has been in your life since you were born, a parent, a caregiver from childhood, a grandparent, then you begin your graph exactly where you began your loss history graph, with the dawn of conscious memory and the year of your birth. Same exact thing. Any other relationship, you begin with when you met them. An exception to that would be marriage. If you're graphing a relationship with your spouse, surely you had some dreams, some hopes, some dreams, some expectations when you were little, when you were younger, perhaps in earlier relationships, of what your spouse would be like when you finally did get married. Begin your graph with those. What did you expect when you were younger? What did you dream about when you were younger? What did you hope for when you were younger? That's where you would begin your graph, positively and negatively. Please make sure, no matter who you are graphing, that you have at least 2 lines going above the horizontal and at least 2 lines going down below the horizontal. If you're still struggling with your choice, who should I graph? You might want to reread page 113 in the Grief Recovery Handbook, Choosing a Loss to Complete. And if you have not made a concrete decision yet, please do text me and let me know who you settle on before our next meeting. If you decide to change the person that you voiced at our last session, please also text me. I would just like an opportunity to hear your reasoning and possibly to encourage you to go after the hardest choice. Chapter 11 in the Grief Recovery Handbook describes how to do your relationship graph. Please make sure you read that before you begin. So, to begin your graph, and remember, we're doing this with paper and pen. We're not doing this on a computer or a keyboard or a phone. Once you have the beginning figured out, the first time you met this person, or your dawn of conscious memory if it's a parent or someone present in your life from the very beginning, mark down whatever pops into your mind, positive and negative, sweet and sour, happy and sad moments, memories. Don't edit or limit, just recall and write down. If you get stuck, you can ask yourself, looking at this graph, this line, this relationship, thinking about this person, what do I wish had been different? What do I wish had been better between us? What do I wish had been more between us? Are there any unfulfilled hopes or dreams, any unmet expectations? And where were there wonderful moments? Where are my happy memories? What am I grateful for? The recommendation is to set aside about 1 hour to do this. Don't judge yourself. Don't edit, just put down whatever comes to mind. Try to get at least 10 events plotted on your graph. If you get stuck, you can go back and look at my relationship graph, or you could look at the examples in the book. Remember that mine is a better example only because you have heard it live, it's up to date, and you heard me express emotions as well as the actual details of the events. You want to indicate the intensity of your feelings by the length of your lines. Don't spend too much time worried about how long or how short your line is. It's just enough to know this was less painful, that was more painful. Shorter, longer, that's all. You can use blocks or shading or a bar or something to indicate when something goes on for a long time, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Remember not to be concerned with what anybody else might think about what you're putting on the paper. No one else needs to know. This is for you. Remember that your graph needs to come up to the present day, and that even if you're working on a person who has died, your emotional relationship with that person continues after death. So we want to see lines on your graph, either positive or negative, even after the time of death. And remember, if you get stuck, you can always go back and reread chapter 11. And if you're really stuck, feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to help. I wish you the best experience as you do this. Thank you for engaging this. I'm praying for your journey.